Hey, what's up guys, I'm Praetorian and welcome to Baldur's Gate 3. So I've been having an absolute blast with this game. I played through the early access twice, and I also got a playthrough going in the full game, and very much enjoying it so far, and I'm looking forward to showing it to all two of you who haven't already seen this game, because I know it's very popular right now. We are going to watch the cutscenes. There's two cutscenes in the beginning of the game, once before character creation and once after. I know a lot of people have already seen them because they were both in the early access version of the game. But if you've already seen it, then you can just go ahead and skip past it. I'd like to have it included for those of you who haven't seen anything on this game. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started on a new game. We will be playing with the balanced. I do have experience with the game, but Tactician is supposed to be quite challenging. This game has some really difficult combat encounters, just a few of them. That can be quite challenging. We wouldn't want to have to do those over and over again. So we're just going to do it the balanced approach here. And again, we'll have the initial cutscene here, which is fairly short, and then we'll get started on character creation. We do not need to reset the tutorials. Alright, so already into the character creation here. And I had said in that previous Baldur's Gate video that I wanted to do something a bit different from the couple campaigns that I've already done. So I played as a human, and I've also played as a drow, and I did a short little playthrough as a half-elf. So I want to do something very different from all of these races. And I think Githyanki is about as different as you can get. Of course, you do have the Dragonborn, you got the half-horse as well. I think it'd be really interesting to play as a Githyanki because they have a very unique perspective in this game, because Githyanki play a fairly large role in the game, and they're these outsiders to the rest of society. So I think it'd be interesting to see the difference as playing as one. Particularly with one of your companions. One of the first companion that you get is a Githyanki. So as far as the class, I played as a barbarian and a sorcerer. Tried out a few of the other classes, but those are the two main ones that I played. Enjoyed them both so far. Sorcerer's been my favorite. So I wanted something very different from those classes as well. And so with having a caster and a strength-based melee fighter, I decided that we should do either ranger or rogue, and we're gonna do the ranger, guys. I've heard that the ranger is one of the weaker classes, so I'd like to see if that's true, because so far I have not found a single class that I haven't enjoyed and found to have adequate tools for playing the game, and they all feel quite different in their own ways, and so far I've enjoyed them all. Now, I haven't played with a ranger, not as one of my own characters or as a companion character. There's a ranger companion, but I haven't gotten him yet. I don't know what point you get him in the game, but yeah, I'm not far enough along yet, so yeah, we'll just experiment with this class. You know, if we don't like it, we can always reclass or multi-class. But I want to see how this pet-based gameplay will be. And also, I'm hoping that the Ranger should get this spell to talk to animals, which adds a lot to the game. You can get it as a certain subclass of Barbarian. The Druid can obviously do it as well. There's a few other classes that can get that spell. But yeah, it's really interesting how you can talk to every animal in the game. You can learn a lot that you wouldn't. In my current Sorcerer playthrough, I don't have that ability, and it definitely feels like you're missing out on a lot of content. So yeah, it'll be interesting trying this class out. So before we do any of this, we're going to go ahead and edit our appearance. Now, unfortunately, the Githyanki do not have a larger body type. You have to be this little scrawny dude. That's okay, just part of their species. We'll have a male identity. And as far as voice goes, I played with one.
Where to next?
I guess we can hear this real quick. I played with 1, and I played with 7.
Be wary. This place is trapped.
And so we're gonna go ahead and do 5 this time.
Things. There's magic keeping this chest sealed. Where to next?
I feel like this is fitting for this character. As far as faces go, so we'll go through all these. You can see what the options are for the Githyanki. They're very ugly people. I know beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I don't know. They're just really ugly species to me. Kind of look like goblins a little bit. A taller goblin. I feel like the Grinch was a Githyanki, because they kind of look like the Grinch who stole Christmas. So we're going to go with face 1. It was kind of a toss-up between this one here or face 1. But we're going to be playing as a more evil playthrough. Because in my current Sorcerer playthrough, I'm a good character. I usually always be good for my first campaign in RPG. And so for this one, I'd like to do an evil playthrough. And this guy's got these beady eyes. Feels very fitting for Githyanki, and also Githyanki are very fitting as a species, as a race, for an evil playthrough, because, I don't know, they kind of have a very dismissive, arrogant, rude tone to them. It's kind of part of their culture. You guys will see when we meet our first Githyanki companion, as well as every other Githyanki I've met up to this point in the game. We will have a scar. They are a warrior peoples. They're like raiders. And so I feel like you'd have some scars. And I think that's it. We won't have any maturity. These guys don't age much because apparently they live in the astral plane where you don't age, or you age really slow. So I feel like we wouldn't have any maturity, won't have any freckles or any of these other options. So for the genitals, we'll have the B option. We don't want to just have the default goods. Obviously, I'm not going to be able to show that on camera. The nudity is going to be a little bit of an issue for YouTube. I definitely don't want any nudity in this first episode. Now, later episodes, we will see, guys. Because, yeah, YouTube really doesn't like the nudity, and they will demonetize anything that has it. So a lot of facial options, and apparently Githyanki do like tattoos. I looked them up before we started the series here, because I have not played Dungeons & Dragons. My kids are really into it. I can pretty much ask them anything and they will know the answer. They love Dungeons & Dragons. And my daughter's currently making a campaign that she wants the whole family to play, so that might be the first time I play Dungeons & Dragons, like the tabletop version. But yeah, I don't know a whole lot about it, so I looked up some things on the Githyanki, and they do use tattoos. And I think it would be fitting to have a tattoo, but because we have these I don't know, these marks on our face, and it seems like all the Githyanki have that, I don't want anything that interferes with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this one here. So this is just on the neck, the chin here, and then goes all the way up the head. It looks pretty cool. And so we're also going to want to change the hairstyle. Although this is a very good hairstyle for Githyanki, just based on the images I've seen. They seem to like hairstyles that kind of spike up. But we're going to choose something else. But first, let's go ahead and select some piercings. As apparently Githyanki like to to take things from their enemies, the corpses of their enemies, and then decorate their body with them. And this is the best we can do with that. And so we're going to go with, I think we're going to go with the last option, these barred rings. They look kind of cool since our ears are so long. For the eyes, so I was kind of torn between like a green look or red. I think we're going to go with red since we're going to play as a bad guy character, and it just really contrasts well with the skin color. There was a lot of skin color options, as you guys seen here. But yeah, we're doing the olive tone 4. But just to show you just how much you can choose here, and of course you can always go with any skin color, but if you want something more accurate, then you should pick one of these. But quite a bit of contrast here for skin color. And I've seen that in the game as well, that Githyanki can look quite a bit different from each other. But yeah, we're going to do the olive tone 4. It's kind of like a greenish yellow look here. We are going to have some eye makeup. It kind of brings out the eyes a bit more. Maybe not something too much like that. Maybe something more like this here. I don't know, that does look really good with the red eyes. Yeah, I guess we'll do that one. But yeah, we're not going to do anything excessive like these ones here. But yeah, that looks good. I find I often use the eye makeup. It just looks good in the game. Obviously, you know, I don't know if this character would actually take the time every day to put eye makeup on, but it's fine. So again, this is a very solid hairstyle for Githyanki. There's also a variation on that, if I can find it, and there's this one's pretty cool looking too here. We're probably going to change our hair color. I don't know, maybe just black. Yeah, we'll do black. Now he does have these highlights in here. We're actually going to take the highlights out. Just have straight black hair, but you want something that shows the tattoo on his scalp. So could go with this look. He's moody. Oh, but here's a variation on it of this one here where you can actually see. I feel like he looks a lot younger like this though. There's a different one that we're going to actually go with here. I just wanted to show some of the options because there is a couple other ones that really fit for Githyanki. These little spiky cuts here. But we're going to go with this one here. It's kind of a Norse hairstyle. I think is fitting considering that they're raiders, which, you know, we associate the Vikings with the Norse. So yeah, I like this one. That's the one we're going to go with. We're not going to have any grays because, again, these guys age very slowly. And I looked it up, and Githyanki do have facial hair. Though generally they don't have like big old beards like this. And also it just doesn't fit our character, and we cover up our tattoo and stuff. So we're not going to have a big old giant beard or anything. But I'd like to cover up that ugly lip of his. I really don't like this massive lip we got. It's their noses. These tiny little noses that they have here. And so you got a few mustache options. Handlebar. I was considering it, guys. I don't know if I could have took my character serious though in the cutscenes. There's also this one here. This one. And then this is the one we're going to go with. So we'll have a little mustache here just to cover up that lip of ours. And I think that's it, guys. I think we're good to go. So that's going to be our character here. Looks like a proper bad guy, in my opinion. Alright, so next we get to pick our favored enemy. And so we have 5 options here. Bounty Hunter. This increases our proficiency in investigation. Also get some bonuses for the ensnaring strike. They'll have disadvantages for us. I guess I won't read all these. I'll just hover over them so you guys can see what they grant you. And so on this one, I was trying to decide between either Ranger Knight, which gives us skill proficiency in history. You know, I love history, got a degree in history, so it would make sense that our character would have some historical knowledge here of the world. Of course, Githyanki are more separated from the world, but they have these long lives, so they often, gather a lot of knowledge over that time. Also gives you armor proficiency with heavy armor. I don't know how fitting that would be with this ranger character, since if we wanted to do any sneaking, heavy armor sometimes gets like penalties to the sneaking. But yeah, we could do a ranger knight, or the other option I was considering, and this is the one we're going to go with, is the Bounty Hunter. We're going to get that proficiency in investigation and those bonuses for the ensnared strike. I think that could be pretty useful. So either one of these would have been valid. The description here particularly fits for a Githyanki in my opinion. You have sworn to serve a crown or nation and seek to bring its foes to ruin. So the Githyanki seem to be very committed to their queen. And so that would have really worked as well. We're going to go with the Bounty Hunter, guys. With the Natural Explorer bonus, we have a few options: Beast Tamer, Urban Tracker, or a bonus for a particular type of resistance. So fire, poison, and cold. We're going to leave the Beast Tamer because again, this is going to be a more pet-focused ranger. And so yeah, I think that one's fitting. We'll be able to do the Find Familiar spell without using up a spell slot. And then as for our backgrounds, there's two potential options I was looking at: Soldier for the bonus to Athletics and Intimidation, and Outlander for the bonus to Athletics and Survival. All three of these skills are important for our character: Athletics, Survival, and Intimidation. However, we're going to go with Outlander for the inspiration bonuses, just so that we have something different. And inspiration is something we'll talk about a little bit later. But our Githyanki companion is a soldier. So this way we'll get different inspiration bonuses if we play something that isn't the same as hers. So let's go and just clear this, and we'll do it from the beginning. The two bonuses here, we actually will leave those where they're at. You want the 2+ and the skill that you want to have the highest, and then the attribute that you want to have the second highest. You want to put the +1 and 2. And then this character, as I typically do, is not going to be completely optimal. We're going to have many of his skills a bit higher than you necessarily would want for this build, for roleplay purposes, because you get a +1 to your rolls of any skills that are governed by these particular abilities, and thus we're going to want to put these a little bit higher. We'll see how high we can get these. So you might want to tick that down to get the charisma up, mainly because we didn't get the intimidation, and we won't be able to either. I don't think that's an option here for the skill proficiencies. So this will help with intimidation. We'll get a +1 on those rolls. So we have one remaining point. We're just gonna put this into strength. Now generally you want to keep all these at even numbers. So if you hover over strength, you'll notice that we're getting a +1 to strength checks. And that doesn't change when we tick it up to 13. But if we ticked it down to 11, we would lose that +1. And so you generally want to have even numbers here. But we just have that extra one, so we'll put it into the strength. And then we need to pick the skill proficiencies. Now you notice that it still says -1 here, despite the fact that intelligence is no longer at 8, it's now at 10, so it shouldn't be -1. I found that you have to change your background to get this to update so you can see accurate numbers here, based on what your current ability points are. I don't know if that's actually important, if it will update once you start the game, but if you want to be able to see what numbers you have here, then you do have to do that. We get to pick 3 skills. Usually you only get 2, unless you're a human, then you get an additional one. But the ranger gets the 3 skills. I think the rogue gets extra skills as well. So the best way, the best class and race in order to get the most skill proficiencies, I think would be like a human rogue or human ranger, because you get the class bonuses and the racial bonus. So we only have a few options. We're not going to be so much a stealthy character. We'll use stealth a bit. We have a rogue companion who's a bit more on the evil side, and we can use him for our main stealth character. And so what I think is fitting for a ranger is that you have nature, animal handling, and then perception. Insight would be a decent option too, but for somebody who's an outlander, I think it'd make more sense that they'd have the higher perception than the insight. And of course, we're already getting the bonus here for survival and investigation and athletics. Alright, so that's the way our skill proficiencies will look, and thus we are now done with our character. However, after our name here, we're going to have to design an additional character. And as for the name, our character is going to be named Zalon. So I got this name from a Githyanki name generator, so it should be fairly fitting for the race. And so now we need to design our guardian. I'm not entirely sure how the game uses this because it's clearly been changed from how it was in early access. So in early access, it instead said, "Who do you dream of?" And the character was wearing a dress if it was a female, or just very loose-fitting clothes as a male. And you would see the character in your dreams if you used your tadpole powers. And I assume it's been changed since it's now called a guardian. They're wearing some armor instead. And so it very much seems like it's not the same as it was in early access. And so we're going to select a female. So a female guardian here. And yeah, we'll just have to see how it's used because I haven't gotten that far in the game to be able to tell you. So this is what our guardian's going to look like. You only have 2 voice options here. She's got the voice 1, she's got the head 6. I just left the skin color what it was. All this is pretty generic here as well. I did give her a neck tattoo to fit with her own neck tattoo and some earrings. Just the eye color, makeup, and teal look to it. Just kind of has like a aquamarine teal coloring here. It's got some black highlights in there as well, just to kind of darken it up. Oops, didn't mean to change the hairstyle there. So I think it's could have went with this one as well. Yeah, we can leave this one. I don't really care that much, honestly. Maybe you want to turn down the highlights a little bit or something. Doesn't really matter that much. Again, I don't even know if we'll see her. So we'll have another cutscene here, and this one's a bit longer, but it is pretty cool, so I did want to show it.
finally free. I must find my kin.
Alright, so we are finally into the game. So the first thing we need to do is take a look at our inventory. So we start out with a short bow since we're a ranger. Now one thing I forgot to do in character creation is to take a look at the weapon and armor proficiencies. We do get some bonuses here because of our race. Being a Githyanki, we get the Martial Prodigy. A lifetime of relentless training gave you armor proficiency with light and medium armor, as well as proficiency with the short sword, long sword, and great sword. But yeah, I didn't see exactly what all our proficiencies were, so if we want to see those, we have to look in here. So you can see we can wear the light and medium armor, and we can use shields. These are the simple weapons that we can use. And we have quite a few options when it comes to martial weapons. Yeah, a lot of different choices here. And we do not have any proficiency with a musical instrument, so this will not be a very musical playthrough, guys. Alright, so we need to find a melee weapon. We'll find one of those fairly quickly. We also have an arrow of ice, some healing potions, and we got this scroll to revive any companions, and then they start you out with a supply pack too. Alright, so this is all we got here. So let's go and start exploring. But yeah, you'll see right from the beginning there with that cutscene the significant role that the Githyanki play. And that is because they are former slaves of the Mind Flayers. They rebelled from them and now they're like mortal enemies of them. I'm going to interact with this nursery here.
This is the pool it came from. The gay parasite that has violated your mind. You notice nothing more than meets the eye.
I think if we reach towards that, it explodes. But yeah, you'll notice that they don't call them Mind Flayers. The narrator doesn't, since we're Githyanki, and so they have their unique name for them. I think it's a Gith or whatever. That's interesting. We got a goblin over here. Take a gold.
Images of goblins, their habits and histories flash into your mind. A schematic of a nautiloid flashes into your mind. Nerves, sinews, as much living being as ship.
I don't think these ones over here do anything.
We are trapped.
Mind Flayer horticulture.
1,000 years of humanoid history, elves, dwarves, humans, and more flash behind your eyes.
So you probably heard that whispering. So up here is where you can get your first companion. It's a temporary one. Depends on what choices you make as you interact with this body here.
Yes, you've come to save us from this place. From this place you'll free us.
The exposed brain quivers in expectation. You realize you're talking to an intellect devourer, a minion of the Mind Flayers who abducted you.
Please. Before they return! They return.
So yeah, that was a unique option we had available because of our race. Now you can kill them even if you're not Githyanki. You'll get the choice to kill them in a different option. Yeah, I think it was fitting. Normally I get that character as a companion because it helps having them, and they're kind of funny to have. But I felt like it just didn't fit for Githyanki because, you know, we're enemies of the Mind Flayers, the Gake.
abomination. This is your end.
Your head throbs and your skin tingles. Visions rush past. A dragon's wing, a silver sword, and a flash of your face seen through the Gith's eyes.
My head. What is this? Skvar. You are no thrall. Vlaakith blesses me this day. Together, we might survive. Who am I? Your only chance of survival. We can do nothing until we escape. That must be our priority. First, we exterminate the imps. Then we find the helm and take control of the ship. We will address the matter of a cure for this infection once we reach the material plane.
So some notable differences with her dialogue, since we're Githyanki. I was thinking that was going to be the most interesting change with our particular race here, is our relationship with Lysel, your first companion here. Alright, so I did forget to use the Find Familiar. So we would have had another companion here, but that's okay. They're not that powerful anyways. And these guys shouldn't be too difficult for us to take out here. So we should do very good damage with our bow, considering our high dexterity. Well, you got to hit to do the damage, of course. So unfortunately, it didn't hit there. There's not really anything that we need to do with our bonus action. So we're just gonna go end our turn, let Lysel attack this guy here.
This is your end.
And we'll take a look at her, all her equipment and stuff after we finish up with this battle here. And she can move a bit further than we will. Let's actually move her over this way to deal with this guy. So luckily we were able to dodge that firebolt. And that. So she's doing very good with the dodging. So let's go ahead and see if she can't kill this guy. There we go, beautiful. So far we haven't done anything in this in this fight. So let's see if we can't get some actual damage here. I don't know how we missed a 95% with the first time, but there's that 5% chance there.
Now, to the helm.
Alright, so let's go ahead and do some looting. And you know what, before I forget, let's also go ahead and call up our animal. So we have a few different choices here. We can get a raven, which can blind enemies. As far as their health, it's not much. Very few of these have very much health. The spider is generally the most powerful in combat. This one can fly as well. Yeah, the blind is helpful. But again, it's just so easy for them to be killed. It's basically just one hit. Same thing with the rat here. They do not have much health. They do the infectious bite. Does 1 damage but can infect them. This gives the enemy disadvantage on constitution saving throws and reduces their constitution by 1, so they might have less health. Then you got the frog. There's their bonuses. The crab, they have a little bit more health, and they do fairly good damage as well. So the crab's not too shabby. The cat, not that great in combat. Do have a bit more health. But the spider's generally the best, with the 6 HP and then the bite here doing the 2 to 5 damage to the same thing that the crab does. I think the spider's probably the best when it comes to combat. So I like to use the spider. Alright, so that'll make up for us not having the brain companion. The intellect devourer, I think is what they're called. But yeah, generally you'll have that, or I always have it whenever I start. Helpful to have. Not really any negative that I've seen so far with having them as a companion. Even Lysel doesn't seem to mind that much that you're using it. Yeah, we'll get all these guys looted, and then we're gonna go ahead and get ourselves that melee weapon equipped. We got a few options. And we'll see what Lysel has equipped. And one more. Dead thrall over here we can loot.
Ship won't be able to take another dragon attack.
We got some short swords and a simple robe. Alright, so let's go and get a weapon equipped. We're going to go with... I think they have different abilities here. So here you can throw them off balance, or you can lacerate. So the short sword has the piercing strike instead, which gives the gaping wounds. So those are two different things, but I'm not entirely sure there's much difference. This is 2 piercing damage. I'm just kind of curious, because I don't know if I've ever looked at these two in depth here. So it's a disadvantage on the Constitution saving throws, and it's a slashing damage. Okay, instead of the piercing. I see. Yeah, I never really dug into this before. Yeah, I guess we'll get the short sword run up. So we're going to equip that. Now, the question is, are we going to want to, because we don't want to use a great weapon, because we want it to be a finesse weapon, so we can use our dexterity instead of our strength, since our dexterity is a lot higher. But the question is, do we want to only equip one weapon at a time? Now, you wouldn't want to use a light weapon. You'd want to use a versatile one, like what Lysel has here. Because if you use that with both your hands, then you do more damage. Yeah, do we want to use just a one-handed weapon with both hands and no shield? Or do we want to equip a shield? Either one would work. So we don't need the rest of these. We can go ahead and mark them as wares. Yeah, we won't need any of these here. Actually, we will need that. So yeah, we'll just be selling all this here. So yeah, Lysel has the long sword. She has the Githyanki half plate. So that's medium armor. She's got the boots. And then she has a short bow and that long sword as we've seen. Just taking a look at her character sheet, if you want to see how she's designed here, she's very strength based. So decent dexterity, pretty good constitution as well. Horrible charisma, which makes sense. She's not very good with people. Here are all of her skill proficiencies. So you can see that she has athletics as we do and the survival. But then she has the intimidation because she's a soldier and the acrobatics. Alright. So it's going to continue on. This section here has been changed quite a bit from the early access version. I noticed they cut off a lot of it. It's a lot shorter. This first fight is different as well. Yeah, they definitely shortened this prologue section, which I agree with. I think shortening it was for the best. I don't think it needed to be as long as it was, which it wasn't that much longer. There's a few sections that they cut out here.
Touch nothing without knowing its purpose.
So luckily we know the purpose here. We're going to hit this one. This one will kill them. If you're able to read it, which we failed there, these will tell you what they do. So this one, here's aggression, that sets them to attack you. And this one here kills them. And I don't recall what this one does. I don't think it does anything. So here's our second potential companion over here. Let's first do the looting. She can wait. Loot first, guys. Priorities. It's this guy. Let's go and get him looted. Take his gold. Tempted to take his mug as well. Thirsty. Alright, so it's going to interact with the Mind Flayer pawn.
Get me out of this damn thing!
Don't waste time on Istik. We must go.
The construction is too alien. Nothing looks familiar.
This ship is crashing. Do you intend to die for a stranger?
Try that contraption next to the pod. They did something to it when they sealed me in. Hurry! Please!
So very interesting. I was wondering if we were going to get any unique interactions here as a ranger, because as the previous classes I played as, they all had something unique you could do here. So like the barbarian, he could just rip it open with his strength, and the sorcerer can kind of figure things out using magic. But here's a ranger. We have no tools available to us to get that open. So I'm wondering if we'll be able to get her out. Let's go and interact with this and see what we can do here.
The console appears dormant. The mechanisms are completely unrecognizable at first, but then you spy an empty socket.
Okay, so I think we need to place something there.
Must power this thing.
And I never had to do this before because the classes I had were just able to find some way to force it open. Do we have any lockpicks or anything? Nah, we haven't found anything just yet. So we won't be able to pick that lock. I'm going to pick these up. I'm not entirely sure what they're used for. I've just been holding on to them in all my playthroughs, just thinking they might be used for something.
A brain, a Githyanki warrior.
Now you'll notice a couple things with the dialogue. I do not have the subtitles on. So we need to go this way over here. I really don't like subtitles. I generally put them on for these Let's Plays, but because I'm playing the game in another playthrough, I don't want to have to keep changing it. And I'm going to tell you what, I'm going to forget to change it back. I found a key here. And there might be something over here that you can use. We'll take a look. Because again, they changed this up. There used to be like a body over here.
How many hosts of these gay infected?
A dazed woman is trapped inside the pod. She doesn't notice you.
So rather than, me forgetting to turn it back on, or... Oh, there still is a body over here. Or having any issues with that.
Another brain.
I'm just going to leave them off, guys. Okay, so she does have this rune over here. We need that.
Controls next to the pod.
Now, we can interact with this, and this will turn them into a mind flayer. So let's go ahead and do that so we can see it.
As you place your hand on the pod, you hear something. A presence connected to the pod, commanding the person inside to change.
Change her. Changed at the pull of a lever. How? If we are not purified, this may be our fate.
Yeah, I really don't like subtitles because I find myself reading them rather than listening to the voice actor. And the voice acting is so good in this game. And so yeah, that's the reason why I've got it off. But the other thing you'll notice with the dialogue here is that I'm not reading our parts of the dialogue. And the reason for that is simply because it adds a lot to the editing, guys. Because I turn up the sound so you can hear the voice acting. So basically every time I come in with the mic, I need to, cut that part out and then turn up the sound for the rest of it. So yeah, I think we use this rune over here. Again, I've never had to do it before because I was always able to get it open before I even went over there.
The console appears dormant. The console hums to life. But what is its purpose? Will it free the captive or transform her like that other unfortunate? Pulsing glow and organic lines of the device make it seem more like a beating heart than a machine. This device is different from the one that caused the other captive to transform. Perhaps it will open the nearby pod. Suddenly, you feel a hideous squirming in your head. A parasite. Then discomfort fades, and another sensation washes over you. Connection. Authority. You feel the biomechanical brain of the console process your command and yield to it. A shiver runs across your mind. You feel sated.
I thought that damn thing was going to be my coffin. Thank you.
Your mind lurches into her thoughts. Her gratitude is mixed with wariness, because you're a Gith.
You're a Gith? Why did you help me? Not so curious. I've heard what Gith are like. Still, you did free me. We both need all the help we can get. Let's try to get off this thing together. One moment. It's nothing. Trust me.
Enough of this chatter. We need to get to the helm. Now.
She's right. Lead on.
Yeah, completely different options available there. Now, before I talk about that any further, did want to mention that we used that astral knowledge. It was a good thing we did. We wouldn't have succeeded there, although it wouldn't matter because we still could have interacted with it and done what we did. But yeah, we wouldn't have succeeded on that roll if we hadn't. We can only use this once per every long rest, and then it gives you that bonus for the for the skills associated with that that attribute. So all the intelligence ones, Arcana, History, Investigation, Nature, and Religion, will get that bonus until we rest. And so again, you can only use that once for one skill. And I wanted to show it, since that's one of the things we have access to. Lizelle has it as well. It's one of the bonuses as our current species here. We actually need to go this way here to represent their astral knowledge. We have very different options with Shadowheart there, and this is another thing I'm curious about, because Shadowheart hates Lizelle, like absolutely hates Lizelle. They just bicker and argue all the time that they're together. They're constantly bickering because she doesn't like Githyanki, so it'll be interesting to see how our relationship is. We had a lot of different options that we could have said some pretty rude things to her, because again, these Githyanki are kind of obnoxious.
We are nearing the helm. Once inside, do as I say. Who put you in charge? I'll trust my own judgment.
Yank.
Yeah, like she's not talking to us. Normally she says, like, don't trust her. But, she doesn't trust either of us because we're both Githyanki. So, yeah, just very different overall.
Connect the nerves of the transponder. We must escape. Now.
Do it. We will deal with the Gith after we escape.
Alright, so in this combat section, the goal is just to get over here in 15 turns. There is an achievement if you can kill this guy, which is a lot of turns to do so. I almost want to try it out, because I didn't do it my first time playing in the full version of the game. 75% chance to hit there. It's the same either way. I think we do the same amount of damage too with these, since they're both dexterity based weapons. But we want to be moving forward. So let's go over here, and then we're just going to use the bow. Although now we have a disadvantage because we're too close to that one. So we'll use the bow over here. Alright, so almost got him killed. And then we'll just send Lysel after him. Yeah, nothing really for us to do with the bonus actions. I don't think we're close enough to shove him. Can throw him off balance if you're closer as well, because that's a bonus action. Alright, so we now have Shadowheart, and I didn't take a look at all her equipment when we got her. So she has the mace, and she has the shield. She doesn't have a ranged weapon. We should have gave her the crossbow. That's what I kept it for. So yeah, we need to give her the crossbow. I don't know that you can do that without using movement points now, because I think they changed. Yeah, they changed it. You used to be able to move items around however you wanted in combat, but now, as you'll see here, you know, down at the movement points, it does have an effect. So yeah, we'll just keep her using a melee weapon. She also has access to the spells because she is a cleric. So we take a look at her stats here. She has dark vision. That's something that the Githyanki don't have, unfortunately, so we can't see in the dark very well. She does have a fear of wolves. This was something that she didn't have in early access, so I thought that was interesting, because that'll affect her in combat. Here's her skill proficiencies. And the rest of her stats here. So yeah, she's a level 1 cleric. She doesn't have access to the use of very many martial weapons here. And then taking a look at her spellbook, this is what she currently has access to. And if we weren't in combat, we'd be able to change those up if we wanted to. Alright, so yeah, we'll just have her use... Maybe see if we can't get up close and use the inflict wounds. You could also do the guiding bolt, that does pretty good damage. But the inflict wounds is a little bit better. Can we avoid the fire here? So yeah, we'll use that. There we go. So that's dead now. And she can't move any further forward. Now, one of the nice things about the cleric here is that she can do both the Shield of Faith and she can heal using a bonus action. So pretty helpful. But yeah, we don't need either of those. Let's go end her turn. And then, do we want her to finish up? Yeah, we'll just have her finish up this imp. Although she doesn't have enough movement, so let's jump over there. That uses your bonus action, but it's one way that you can get up close. Could have used the ranged weapon as well. Oh, we missed. Okay, that was fortunate. We do have the spider as well. I forgot we had the spider. Could have used the spider on that guy, and Lysel could have like shot at him. Probably would have been the better option. So the imp's the only one left here. So yeah, we'll just use our bow on it. Though again, I'm very tempted to try and kill the commander here for the achievement. I'm not gonna hit. Oh, we did. Alright, so we did 2 damage there. There are a couple more enemies you gotta fight, so we want to be able to make sure we take care of them. But, yeah, I don't know. We could try. Go ahead and turn here. And then she doesn't have the... Yeah, she doesn't have the ranged weapon, and you definitely wouldn't want to use any of these powers on just that imp there if we're going to try and take this guy out. Very low chance of hitting, so it would not be wise to use that there. So there might not be anything... You know what? We can use our cantrip, I suppose. Yeah, we'll use the cantrip on the... Well, we shouldn't have used that one. It killed it. But yeah, I think they have a bonus against fire. Alright, so let's go ahead and end our turn. Again, you don't have to kill the commander. But we have so many turns. God, yeah, he's got that very high defense here, so not gonna hit him. They have so many turns. Like, why not try? You know, once we get down to just a few turns left, we could always... now, we will want to get these guys killed real quick. But yeah, we can always start moving towards the end. So let's go over here first, get the other enemies to fire up. Yeah, we're not doing a lot of damage to him. So we'll see if
Need to stay focused.
our companions can do any better.
Onward.
And just not doing much with our spells here because of the very low chance to hit, and it's terrible. So we'll just cast one of these two. That one generally doesn't work at that low percentage. We'll try at 25. Yeah, you missed. Maybe the 40% would have been better, but yeah, that one often doesn't hit. I have found. And of course you're getting the help from the Mind Flayer as well. So she's going to go ahead and start engaging this now. And we'll go up on the above position. And let me see, what's our percentage? It's still sitting at 40% right now. So yeah, just not going to... We probably wouldn't want to try the lacerate at this percentage. I was trying to hit him. Yeah, he dodged it, unfortunately. So we'll have our two melee fighters. I got a critical hit, I suppose. Still only did 1 damage. But yeah, we'll have our two melee fighters fight the commander here,
We're dead.
while the rest of us get the other enemies to pop up.
Hurry before they strike.
Alright, so we got 3 more enemies that I have to defeat here.
Breathe deep and move.
Alright, so let's go after... Should probably try and take him out first. And of course we missed.
What should I do?
Now, she does not have
Got to press on.
that ranged weapon. So this is what we're going to do. Let's use the guiding bolts on this guy since we still don't have... Yeah, we just don't have a high enough percentage to hit there. So let's kill that guy. Get rid of him. So I don't have to worry about him no more. Yeah, just such a low percentage chance of hitting here. Could go ahead and boost up our strength. That was an action, but they'll help us for the next turn. We can do the pummel strike for right now, though. And we missed. Yeah, this thing even has a lower chance to hit with the 20%. Just terrible. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure if we'll be able to do it. So let's go ahead and kill... we'll kill this guy. Or get close to killing him anyway. I don't recall exactly how far we have to get
On my way.
to have it fire. But we basically want to be where we're only about 1 turn away with our main character here. See if there's anything to do here. Nope.
Let's finish this.
And so with her, let's just have her do the firebolt. And she missed. Alright, so that's unfortunate. Because I want to keep her within range of this guy here. He currently has 92 health. And yeah, with our current percentage here, I mean, we're just going to try the lacerate. Maybe we'll hit. Yeah, we did. So we got him bleeding. Alright, excellent. You can always shove him as well. It takes some time to get up. Yeah, it didn't work out. Athletics failed. Alright, so he did a little bit of damage to us. I wonder if we move... Probably not going to do any. Doesn't matter where we're at. Oh, so they're focusing on our main character here. Alright, so now we're going to need to use our melee weapon. And... let me just see if Shadowheart... Oops, damn it. I did not want to do that. Luckily he missed. I was trying to select Shadowheart here.
Faith will protect me.
Let's see if she can't kill that guy. Alright, she was able to. Alright, excellent.
Blood comes easy.
So that way we can just go ahead and kill this guy here. Alright, so I'm going to try and get where I'm just 1 turn away from being able to interact with that. And let's go and end her turn here. And then she's going to want to move a bit closer. Yeah, I don't see any spells that we'd want to use on them. We're probably just going to be smacking them with our mace here. And yeah, we'll see what we can do here, guys. We're probably going to miss most of these. At this early level, you just don't have very many options available in combat. Oh, there's another one over here. A couple more. I've never tried to kill him before. I noticed that there was an achievement for it. And so that's what got me interested in trying. Can we hit him with the bow? Not from where we're at. We'd have to move. Okay, so yeah, we will just have him end his turn. So we can stay within range there. We could move forward and shoot, but yeah, it's not even gonna... I don't think we're even gonna try this, guys. Because with the other ones coming in, we're not gonna be successful here. And yeah, we're gonna take all kinds of damage. And yeah, we have like such a low chance of hitting the commander. So yeah, I just don't see this happening. Yeah, and they got their dash as well, so they'll be here in attacking distance in one more turn. Yeah, we're not able to take them down, unfortunately. So what we can do is we can hit with Shadowheart. But yeah, I think we're just gonna go ahead and interact with this. We're not even hitting them, guys. We got them down to 86 health. But yeah, with the other ones coming in, just not worth doing for an achievement right now. I'll do that off camera. Yeah, let's go ahead and interact with the transponder now.
The Helm's alien transponder. You've made it in time. As you wake, the tadpole squirms in your skull. Other than the infection, you're more or less intact. A miracle, given everything you've been through, but it'll all be for nothing if you don't find help soon. The tadpole is a death sentence, and the clock is ticking. You need a cure.
Alright, so it's such a beautiful and cinematic game. They did a fantastic job with it. Very impressed. But yeah, that's what I wanted to get through right there. So I was going to have this extra long episode, make sure we got through the prologue and character creation and all that good stuff. We'll play a little bit longer here. Wake up Shadowheart.
What are you doing? I'm alive, yes. Thank you for the concern. And speaking of, how are we alive? True. Seems like we're the lucky ones, judging by all the corpses strewn about. I remember the ship. I remember falling. Then nothing. She must have run off without us. Seems like I'm more reliable than your own people. You're more concerned for her than she is for you, clearly. We need to take care of ourselves. First things first, we need supplies, shelter, and most of all, a healer. We might have escaped, but we still have these little monsters in our heads. No, I don't recognize this place. But anything's an improvement on where we just came from. We need each other, and we both know what's at stake. Can't think of better company. One thing, just before we go. I wanted to thank you again for freeing me. It would have been all too easy for you to run right past my pod, but you didn't. I'll remember that. Lead the way.
Alright, so we got caught trying to steal that from her. Remember, we are going to be a bad guy. I do have difficulty being a bad guy to my companions. Because, you know, you want them to like you somewhat. Some characters are going to be kind of difficult. Especially when you're going a certain route here. I'm surprised with how she's been treating us. I thought she'd be a little bit worse. Because, again, she's very bigoted towards the Githyanki. And so I'm a little surprised she hasn't been ruder. Now, you notice she's mentioned the fact that we saved her. So we didn't have to save her. We could have left her on the ship. And then we wouldn't have had her for that combat section, which of course, you don't really need her. It's none of that combat's all that difficult in the beginning. And if you don't get her, then you'll find her here on the beach, right in front of this door that we're about to run into here soon. I found a hat. Okay, I guess we'll take it. I don't know if we want to wear it though. We'll take a look, see what it looks like. No, we're not gonna wear that. Doesn't have any bonuses either. And there's a pouch right here. So yeah, you gotta be paying attention to your surroundings. There's a lot of loot and different things to find. Things like hidden that sometimes your character's perception will see, other times they won't. And so you gotta pay attention. And I guess we'll take that, whatever.
Anything of use?
Yeah, it's just such a beautiful and amazing game, guys. Just been very impressed. Which again, the early access version was very good as well, but some huge improvements overall in the full version of the game. There's a lot of similarities. Oh yeah, we need that. There's a lot of similarities here for Act 1, but you'll notice several changes. If you have played early access, there's enough changes to make it feel different. But for the most part, it's very similar to the early access version. But of course, you do have access to all the full features. This will allow us to fast travel, by the way. You know, like they didn't have the potion making, which you've seen we've already gotten some resources for. We need to level up as well. We do have the experience to do that, so we'll do that here in a minute. But yeah, let's take a look at the alchemy here. So yeah, you can create potions with your goodies. So just another thing to pay attention to. So you can lockpick this here, which we did get those thieves' tools. But there's another way through there, and we don't want to go in there just yet anyways. This is this temple. And yeah, we don't want to go in there yet. So we'll do that in a later episode. Alright, but let's go ahead and level up before we end today's video here. There's a combat section up here against some intellect devourers, so we'll have to do that in episode 2. But yeah, we'll end off this one by getting our first level up. Moving our characters to level 2, increasing our health. We also got a level 1 spell slot, so we'll now be able to select some spells. And so what we want is speak with animals. That's a pretty important spell to have here. And then we know we have the bonus for the ensnaring strike as well, so we should probably get that. But just to take a look at some of the other options here, you know, we could be a healer and cure wounds. There's some pretty good stuff. So this allows you to conjure 4 magical berries into your or your companion's inventory, so you can eat those for health. Got the Hell of Thorns. Seems pretty good. Hunter's Mark is pretty good as well. Now, with the Enhanced Sleep, that's something we're not going to need as a Githyanki. Something I forgot to mention that the Githyanki can do. They actually have telekinetic abilities, and so we have access to one. We'll take a look at that once we finish leveling up here. But yeah, we won't need that. I'll tell you why in a minute. Let's go ahead and get something selected here. Again, I feel like you should probably get the Ensnaring Strike just because we have the special bonus for that. So your attack summons thorny vines that possibly ensnare your target. And what's really helpful with that is that it's a bonus action rather than using your main action. So yeah, pretty useful. So we're going to get that. But Hell of Thorns would probably be a good option, or Hunter's Mark. So all be good choices here. Also, we need to select a fighting style. So the fighter gets to select a fighting style from the start. Ranger, apparently it's level 2 here when we get an option. So if we get the archery, we'll gain a 2+ bonus to ranged weapon attacks. We can instead do defense. We'll get a 1+ bonus to our armor class while wearing armor. We can do the dueling. While you're wielding a melee weapon that is not two-handed or versatile in one hand and no weapon in the other, you deal an additional 2 damage with that weapon. So basically it'd have to be one of the lighter weapons. Or we could do the 2-weapon fighting. I don't think that fits for our character. Instead we're going to have Lyzel do that. So really it's between the choices of archery or dueling. While defense is helpful, I don't think it's as good of a bonus. So I think we're going to go with the archery. I think that'd be a little bit more useful for us. If we decide that dueling would be the better option later, then we can always respec. But I don't want to be limited to only using weapons that are not the versatile to get the 2+ damage. And also a thing to consider is that the versatile weapons, they already get a damage bonus when you're using them in both hands. And I'm not entirely sure how big of a bonus damage it is, but it might be around 2. And so yeah, the versatile weapons are just going to in general do more damage compared to the smaller weapons. Just kind of depends on the weapon, of course, and the characteristics of it. But yeah, I like having a few more options available to us. And we are going to be very much focused on our bow here. So I think archery would be good. There's also another fighting style to consider, and that's the dual wielding, where you have a weapon in each hand. That one's pretty good because you get 2 attacks. However, the second attack uses your bonus action. So every time you do a melee attack, you're giving up your bonus action. So kind of depends. With the rogue, it's really good because they have the multiple bonus actions. I don't know if the ranger ever gets access to that though. I suppose you could multi-class to a rogue to get access to that. But yeah, we're going to select the archery here, guys. Again, we can always change it. That's what's really nice about the game's respec ability. And we'll want to cast this immediately, by the way. Do we have all our spell slots? Let me just take a look here. We do. Got access to them all again. So yeah, now we have a few spells that we can use. But yeah, we're going to want to do the speak with animals. And so with the speak with animals, you'll notice that that's a ritual, as is the find familiar. And so what that means is that they don't cost a spell slot when cast outside of combat. So pretty useful to have those. And this lasts until a long rest. And so we'll be able to comprehend and communicate with Beast. And so every time we do a long rest, we'll want to make sure that we enact both of these abilities immediately. As soon as we get back into the game world. You'll usually have like a collection of spells you have to do every time you do a long rest with each of your characters. So as I was saying, the Githyanki do have access to psionics and telepathic abilities. So we got this mage hand here. So that gives you a hand that you can move around and interact with stuff in the environment, can access areas that, perhaps you can't access, do certain things. They can be useful sometimes. It is of a little bit limited use though. But then they also get a special psionic jump, which increases their jump by I think 3 times. You can jump really, really far with it. So that's pretty cool. And I think they get another ability a bit later in the game too. So yeah, Githyanki has some cool abilities. And then we also have Shadowheart to level up. Now, Shadowheart is one of the characters that I often feel fits well for a little bit of a respec, because she is of the trickery domain. And trickery domain's fine, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just the way I use her. I typically use her as my healer. And so I like to change her over to the life domain. And so I found that to be really, really useful. Changing her up to that, because the life domain gets all kinds of bonuses for healing. So it might be something we want to do. Or we can even do one of the other domains. There's a lot of different options. Or we could just leave her with the trickery domain. There's not really anything wrong with it. It just doesn't fit with the way I make use of her. But yeah, this is an illusion ability that we're getting because of our domain. But I think there's not really anything for us to do here. For this class, we just got access to level 1 spell slot and the channel divinity. And the prepare spells is something you can always do. I mean, I suppose we can look at these because we haven't done this yet. Yeah, we don't have to do it in here, but why not? We'll take a look at all her abilities, figure out what we want to have access to. So we definitely want the healing word. The cure wounds is better, as you'll see, but that's a melee one, so you got to be up close to the person. The guiding bolt's pretty helpful to inflict wounds as well. And then I like the command. That's helpful, although it's only 1 turn. So maybe what we might want to do instead is bless. You can do bane as well. But yeah, bless is nice. So this gives a 1d4 bonus to attack rolls and saving rolls. So pretty helpful, because you can do it for up to 3 characters. So you could do your entire party outside of 1 person, of course. And then for the last one, Sanctuary can be really nice, because it can help you save a character that has really low health and give them time to heal up, because they can't be attacked or harmed while they have that. Of course, they can't do any damage either, but it just gives them time to get away from the battle and to heal up. So that one can be pretty useful. Increasing armor class is pretty good too, and that lasts until a long rest. It's a bonus action, though it does require concentration, so something to consider. Or you just do the Bane, where it gives a negative 1d4 penalty to attack rolls and saving throws of 3 creatures. So pretty good too. Yeah, I guess we'll do the Bane. Why not? Alright, so we leveled up our 2 characters here. And let me see if I don't want to get too close to these guys. We can loot this here as we end the episode. I think there's one thing over here to loot as well, 1 character. Subducted commoner. Got a dagger here. I think we got everything else over here. Alright, so yeah, we're going to go ahead and end the first episode here. Extra long video, so make a little bit of progress here. Just making sure we didn't miss anything. I think he's just got that note on him. Did miss this. Yeah, I hope you guys did enjoy the first episode. If you did, make sure you leave a like on the video, subscribe to our channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment. If you're looking for anything to watch while you wait for episode 2, check out the front page of our channel. Got a ton of videos, all sorted by genre, so you should be able to find something you'd enjoy. If you're looking for any links, check out the description of any of our videos. You found links to our PayPal, Patreon, and Teespring store if you'd like to help support the channel. You also find a link to all of our social media if you'd like to follow us on those. And you'll find a link to our Discord if you'd like to join our community. So I do hope to see you on the next episode. And thanks for watching.